Hello and welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time, the greatest show on earth. I am your medicated and unregulated host, Joshua Stonecutter. Got my phone. I got two phones going. So, look, I stopped streaming on Facebook because I was getting shadow banned so horribly on there. I mean really bad. So I got a Twitch account and I just fired it up. I'm live on Twitch. Obviously, there's no viewers. It'll take some time, maybe 6 months or a year, to get some viewers on Twitch. But trust me, the people on Twitch want to know what it is I'm talking about. And the only thing I'm lacking for the Twitch audience is like a better microphone, So I apologize. It'll get better as we go on. This is just me starting. I'll be streaming through a computer eventually. I need you to share my I need you to share my content. You guys got to do something, okay? I need your help. This is me asking for help. I also need you guys to listen to me. I need you to listen to what I'm saying because I haven't just I'm not just pulling stuff off the internet and presenting it to people as facts. Everything that I talk about is stuff from my own personal life, And if you want to see like some soul revealing stuff, just go back to the Remember Forever, the 6th of November episode. You know what I mean? I'm bawling my eyes out. I can't like fake cry. You know what I'm saying? I guess if I really had to, I probably could, but that's not what that was. Let's go over the tracks and then we're going to get into the episode. We're doing it differently now. We're just doing one topic per episode because I ramble so much and I cover so much ground. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot to unpack, All right, here's the tracks. DJ Tom Craft, Flashback. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I'm assuming that's probably a picture of him when he was a kid, and then the backside is a pretty nice picture there. I'm assuming that's probably him and his mom or something. But DJ Tom Craft is an amazing DJ. And if you want to get into DJing, the first thing you want to do is start with vinyl. You don't want to start with a laptop and all that stuff. And then here we have Aquino, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Aquino, Man on Mars. And this one's interesting. Look at all the floating, I'll get closer here. Look at all the floating pyramids with that. And then this insignia as well. And then here on the back, we just have like a artist shot or whatever. I picked this one out for the artwork. We have DJ Jan Remix, Tala 2XLC Remix, DJ Tibby Remix, and then the extended club mix, which is only 3 minutes and 51 seconds. That doesn't really add up. But, honestly, I have no idea what this track sounds like. It was bought for $10.50 back in 1997. So this is an older track, 1997. And it's interesting. Check this out. This is another interesting thing. Look at this. You flip it upside down. Do you see? I was thinking when I was looking at this artwork before I started doing the show, is this what's going on? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, is this me? Is this us up here? Like, we're up here on the surface, and if you dig down far enough, you'll actually get to it's like a whole nother planet, like in a whole nother Earth, upside down, held there by gravity, just like we are. I mean, it's totally possible. That is totally possible. I really like and let me talk about this before we get into the topics, because, it sucks being shadow banned. Doing this show is partly for me to keep myself sane, to do a dialogue. Do you see what I'm saying? Like a daily diary, so to speak. And all this is letting you in on just a little tiny glimpse of like a little portion of what's going through my head and what's happened in my life, Because just to be clear, I was raised by like some kind of, I don't know if it was CIA cult members or if they were actual Luciferians. But there's big chunks of my life missing. I was abused horribly growing up. I believe I was tested on as well. And I think it has a lot to do with all this stuff that's going on underground. This is why they don't like me, you guys. They don't like me because And this is why I'm shadow banned for the new viewers on Twitch. Anybody who's joining us on Twitch, it's because everything that I have to say is true. That's why they don't like me, because I'm a stand-up person. I'm a good guy, and upon trying to find other good people out there, I'm having a really hard time finding them. And I think it's because they have all of us censored and limited right now. I believe that like they have the internet set up to where it's hand-tailored. We each have hand-tailored hacking going on to where like the people who they know the people that would want to and need to hear the things that I'm saying, right? They know who those people are. And they know who the people like me are who are saying the things. So I think what's going on is they have everybody separated. And I also think I think they're thinning the herd right in front of our eyes. I feel like I'm seeing less and less people out there. All right, so let's get into the topic. I'm rambling. But I'm qualified to bring you guys this information. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I have 5 years experience as a photographer. I have like 15 years experience in the club scene, in the underground club scene. And there was just, and if you guys are paying attention, just the titles of these tracks and the artwork on these tracks, it's very telling. Do you see what I'm saying? Like this one pretty much says it all. You know, and it's saying Mars and all this stuff. I'm starting to think that it's possible. Okay, it's just possible that the reason that these planets and these stars look so far away is because we're looking out through a big concave kind of something structure. I don't think the Earth is flat. Okay, I'm not a flat earther. I don't think the Earth is flat, but it is not the shape that they say it is. Okay, that's all. That's all I'm saying. It's not the shape they say it is. All right, this is the topic that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Michael Aquino. And the reason we're going to talk about Michael Aquino is we're going to talk about who is he and where is he? Because I don't know if this guy's alive or dead, quite frankly. I don't know if this person is alive or dead. Michael Aquino was in the military. I think the Air Force. Probably the Air Force, because you have to understand that the Air Force is the most quote-unquote like satanic branch of the military, because they rule the skies. Do you see what I'm saying? Like they rule the air, and they saw like Lucifer as something like that. There's some connection there with ruling the skies, ruling the air, and it has to do with them ruling the airwaves as well. It's not just planes flying around. Okay, it's all the digital information that's flying around up there as well. They control all of it, you guys. And it's gotten to the point now where they're controlling what each of us sees individually. They have the TV thing wrapped up. Michael Aquino is a key piece in all of this. He was called a master programmer. They called Aquino a master programmer. He was involved in the Franklin cover-up. All right, I don't know if you know anything about this stuff, you need to start doing some research. If you take the time and research the Franklin cover-up, that's going to give you a really clear picture of what was happening a long time ago. And people knew about it. And this is the problem that I'm running into. All these people I thought that I was running to inform about this stuff, I'm running to people who are involved in it. To tell them, all I'm telling them is, hey, I know that I know that this stuff is going on, but I'm telling them about themselves. When I've gone to my pastor, when I've gone to my parents, that's the reason they've been gaslighting me this whole time. Because there was a period of time where I was under the assumption, or I felt like I needed to inform my family and inform those closest to me about what was happening. But it's the ones who are closest to me who know way more about what's happening than I do. And I'm talking about the targeting, all the targeted individual stuff. You guys have to understand, I get treated like crap. Like 85, 90% of the places that I go to, I get just treated like absolute garbage. They do all sorts of stuff to my food. I don't even eat in restaurants anymore. I can't post on the internet. You guys, I was trying to pay to boost my Facebook videos, and they won't allow me to boost and promote my Facebook videos. They won't do, They won't allow it. All right, let's get back to Michael Aquino, because I think Michael Aquino is still alive. That's what I think. Okay, so he was involved in the Franklin cover-up. If you are, because I know that I'm talking to a bunch of internet people. I'm talking to a bunch of gamers, right? I'm talking to a lot of people that are probably just like me. They could really use a couple more trips to the gym and, some exercise and probably less video games and less TV, because all of that stuff is to distract you and to keep you from listening to people who have things to say, like me. You guys need to listen to me. Okay. He was involved with this California, you can look all this stuff up. Michael Aquino, Franklin cover-up. Michael Aquino, California daycare. He apparently, supposedly, according to police reports and a lot of stuff I've read on the internet, he had a home in California that was, according to reports, okay, because this is not my personal opinion, according to reports, had a soundproof torture room in it. He was a total PED. In fact, I did videos about Michael Aquino before, and they took him down because I was using the P word. And apparently the P word is hate speech. So I think even if you went out on the street with a sign that said PED, the whole word, PED, you know the rest, right? I think they would probably arrest you for hate speech, because I think that word is just as bad as the N word, like right now, in terms of like what they can like lock you up for, what they can do to you. Okay, Michael Aquino was with Anton LaVey doing like the Church of Satan thing, and then he started his own branch, which was the Temple of Set, S-E-T. Now you have to keep in mind that all this like Satanist, Luciferian stuff, the people who are involved with it, most of them don't believe any of it at all. They're in it for all the trappings. You know what I mean? And they are trappings. Like, you get trapped. They blackmail you. You know what I mean? If you're into like the kids stuff, the PED stuff, then because they are into it and they have access to all these children, oh, how easy it is to hook you up with one. Oh, by the way, we just videotaped you, and now you have to do whatever we say. It usually is something like that, but I think in this day and age, it's more of a willingness. Like, the people know, like, these people are being raised into it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the media and the news wants us to think that these are isolated incidences and everything like that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that this is happening in virtually every household in America. And I had no idea that I was horribly abused until just recently. All right, so what I'm getting at with the whole Temple of Set, Church of Satan, blah, 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 is that they're just cults meant to control people. And there are people involved in these things who do believe that waving their arms around in the air is really going to do something, or that they're doing some kind of spell or mystical whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there are people out there, because there's so many different levels of like knowledge. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, whether you're into like all the crystal stuff and all the stone stuff, or like the Temple of Set or the Church of Satan, or Baptist, right, or Catholic, everybody's getting lied to and manipulated. And let me tell you how they're manipulating you. They're manipulating you all using all these underground portals and tunnels and like technology that you don't even know exists. So you think you're like summoning some spirit or something, but really somebody just tapped their foot and turned on a hologram machine. Do you see? It's really not that complicated. All right, so he was, okay, now this is all connected. Think about this. He was involved with Moffett Air Force Base, right? MK Ultra. He made training tapes on making Monarch mind control slaves. And this is what I was getting at a second ago. He was like an author of a book called Mind War, which I still haven't read. But he was in the DIA, Psychological Warfare Division, and he had top secret clearance. Okay, so this is my point. Because he was in the DIA's Warfare Division, and because he had top secret clearance, Michael Aquino was able to set up a wide variety of gaslighting, like entrapment whatevers to get people to join these various cults. You know what I'm saying? These satanic cults. So like there could be the spirit summoning cults. If you have access to gravitational machines or anti-gravity things that would create a gravity field, oh man, you can make somebody levitate. And then you think all these people like, oh, you did it because you're sitting in a circle and like you summoned a spirit. You know what I mean? It's like, no, like you didn't summon a spirit. But, the person you're following has top secret clearance and access to all this black technology, dark technology. Do you see what I'm saying? There is no magic. It's all technology. So considering that Michael Aquino had access to all this top secret clearance stuff, and he was like considered a quote master programmer, psychological operations, don't you think that he's a pretty bad person? Oh, and he's been accused of all this PED stuff. So like, what's he doing? You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is look at Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino, to me, is like a key piece in this puzzle for many reasons. Let me explain why. If you research Michael Aquino and the stuff that he has done and the things that have been said about him in public courts, right? Because you got to understand this whole California daycare thing, the evidence against him was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. It was all there, and they just didn't prosecute him. And the parents, I mean, it was that was probably when there was a real satanic panic. There was probably people like moving out of the country back then, because here we have people like blatantly guilty of doing PED stuff, horrible things, unspeakable things that I can't even say here on YouTube. I can't even say on Twitch, right? The guy gets off scot-free. In fact, he even goes on TV. He went on like Nightline or Oprah and said, oh yes, this has all been a smear campaign because people don't like my religion and blah, blah, blah. We would never do that. And they're all doing that. The Catholics are doing it. The Baptists are doing it. It looks like everybody in my church was doing it. When I say it, I mean like children, right? I mean, do you think the guy who made training tapes on making a monarch mind control slave was like a good person to like have around? He shouldn't. Look, they all know this all operates in the wide open. Down in the underground, this is like old news. You know what I'm saying? This is all old news. Okay, so this is something that I have to keep telling myself, and this is something that we all have to keep in mind, especially the targeted people or people that consider themselves targeted, right? We all have our own psychological operations going on to where they're looking to see how far they can push us or when we'll break or if they can make us break down or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? These moments of betrayal when we realize that these people we thought loved us, who loved us and cared for us, really don't have our best interests in heart. In fact, they might be planning on sending us into like some kind of meat factory or something. I have to remind myself of that, Like when I think about the managers I've worked with, when I think about these people who are like, I believe still in the military, who seem to like come and follow me and work, in places that anytime I get a job, within a few days, there's somebody from the military who comes and gets a job there and tries to be all buddy-buddy with me and then does a horrible job and gets promoted. And it's happened like 7 or 8 times now. And it's like, really this again? Because like I've gone through so many jobs, and I've seen the pattern so many times that the last like 4 or 5 jobs I've had, my eyes have been wide open to everything. And like they'll like roll in all these new employees and it's like, I don't even think they need a new employee. They're just trying to get me to quit. And I don't even understand why they hired me in the first place. Do you see? I could go through my last 3 out of my last 4 jobs. I could with a few letters from attorneys and a few phone calls, I believe these people would be giving me some cash because I was treated horribly, especially at 5-Star Pizza in Gainesville, where I just wanted to mind my own business, do my own thing, and deliver pizzas. And instead I just got incessantly messed with there. Incessantly. And then I got fired. I got fired like a half hour after I brought up how they were being completely unfair to the people who had worked. Anyways, it was all bullcrap. back on Michael Aquino, because you see, Michael, this is my point. Michael Aquino has everything set up in the way everything's being run with technology and computers and stuff like that. We all have our own little psychological operations going. Because I'm telling you, mark my words, we are all being effed in the A. We are all being effed in the A. And I mean that literally. We have all been effed in the A. Literally. I don't mean that metaphorically speaking, like, oh, haha, I'm making it funny. No, no, no. I mean that literally. Every single one of us in America, every single one of us in America has been effed in the A. And I like, it could be like a comedy routine that I do. You know what I'm saying? But like, the sick part about all this stuff is that South Park, like, lets you into little bits and pieces of it, which makes me really concerned about the Canadian flapping head thing. Is that how they're executing their people up in Canada? Because I think it's already happening here. People are like, oh, one day they're going to be executing, but no, I think it's already happening. Like, where are all the people? Where are all these Mexicans that are pouring into the country? It's like, oh, well, some of them are in like warehouses and something. Oh man, what is going on? And I can't even post on the internet without being totally, completely shadow banned. It's only a matter of time until Twitch gets me, if they haven't already. Because somehow this stuff follows me around, you know? And I think it's quite easy once you're in a 3-letter agency. So Michael Aquino, and again, that is the main topic, Michael Aquino. He is like one of the main people behind the UFO psychological operation, the UFO PSYOP. And this is the interesting thing, because where do we go for information on people? Google, right? Well, go to Google, look up Michael Aquino. I can't tell if this man is alive or dead. They don't have a death date for him, but then if you look on his website, it says that he passed on. Like, is this guy dead or not? Like, supposedly he died, but I don't think so, man. I don't think he's dead at all. I think he's down in the underground. It's just that simple. I know where these portal locations are. I don't know how more simple to put it. I know where these underground portal locations are. They're all over the place, just to let you know. They're not like just a few of them. But the ones I know about are in Florida, of all places, which is like surprising to me. It's surprising to me because when I've thought about like anything underground or tunnels or anything like that, I always think about out west because the elevation's higher. And anytime I've talked about that stuff with Florida, people are just like, yeah, it's just swamp. You know, you can't, it's limestone. There's water underneath you. There may be, but deeper than that, there's something else. And like, I know exactly, I know exactly where these places are. I wasn't trying to find them. I wasn't trying to look for them. But because of what I do for my job, I just kind of like intuitively found them. I wouldn't have found any of this stuff. I wouldn't have learned any of this stuff if they had not. It's because, let me be clear about this, and I'll try to end with this, all right? It is because they have not stopped messing with me. That's why. That's why I've been able to figure all this stuff out. It's because they won't stop messing with me. And I mean like all angles. Online, in real life, jobs I work, even in traffic. But once you know that somebody is lying to you, right? You can then trick them into telling you the truth. Let me give you an example. If you need to know the truth about something and you're talking with somebody who is a liar, you just basically whittle the conversation down to a point to where they have one of two options. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to be really, really tricky with these people. But knowing that somebody is going to lie to you 100% of the time is almost just as valuable as knowing that somebody's going to tell you the truth 100% of the time. Does that make sense? But it's because nobody's offered me any assistance. like any real assistance, and I'm talking about like my family and stuff like that. Like I don't mean strangers on the internet. Like I'm talking about like my pastor that I've known for like 25 years. You know what I'm saying? I've known this guy for like 25 years. I'm talking about my parents, my brother, who I've known my entire life. They had an opportunity about a year ago to step in and like help me and direct my anger and frustration towards what I thought was going on, which was, you know, all this group stalking stuff, but I thought it had to do with the girl that I was dating because anyways, I just did at the time. And there's a lot of evidence pointing towards that. You know, she jailbroke and hacked every phone I bought her. It didn't matter if it was an Android or an iPhone, you know, but we were getting followed. That was when we started getting followed. Like we were traveling and there was people, I thought they were following her around, you know, I assumed they were following her around. So, but if the church I grew up going to, and if my family who I went to for help, if they had actually helped me and actually instead, because let me tell you what they did. My dad bought a car, right? He bought a horrible car off Craigslist, and then he spent 4 or 5 days rigging the car to break down. You can't make this stuff up. He spent 4 or 5 days booby trapping a car for me. And the only reason I was able to drive this car and have him like fix it and stuff is because I knew immediately what he had done. And before I even left town with the vehicle, because I had to drive up to Tallahassee to pick it up, right? I wouldn't even drive it out. I wouldn't even leave Tallahassee until, and this is where my manipulations start coming in, because I've known for a while that my dad was involved with this stuff. And, you know, if you're watching this, you need to realize that the involvement is your parents. You know what I'm saying? Like the involvement is your church, is your family. The people that you would never think. If you're experiencing what I'm experiencing, if you're being targeted, right? But like, I basically tricked my own father. I didn't trick him, but I basically made him commit to breaking down this car, or excuse me, I made him commit to fixing this vehicle that I knew I would. You guys, I was so angry when I was talking to him, and what I'll never forget. I was sitting there saying to him, yo, man, this thing is going to break down over 15 times in the next, like, couple months. And I was angry, and I was saying that. And what kind of car would really break down 15 times? You know what I'm saying? Right? That's a ridiculous number. You guys, it broke down more than that. The car broke down more than that. And every single mechanic that went to look at it was like, what happened to this car? Who worked on this? And I was like, and by, like the 8th or 9th time that a mechanic said that, like, what happened to this vehicle? Did somebody tamper with it? I was like, oh my goodness. And my brain didn't want to believe it. You know? But, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And, so anyways, that's why I'm doing my show, you know, was because this has totally changed my life. This whole psychological, whatever, you know what I'm saying? The psychological operations, basically people messing with me my entire life. But what I'm saying is researching it and figuring out why it's happening. It's taken me like 2 years. It's taken me 2 years of committing as much time as I can physically and mentally commit to it, which is a lot. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is one of the first things I think about when I wake up in the morning, and one of the last things I think about when I go to sleep. Just recently, when I found out that it was my parents that were involved, and I found out for certain that my parents were pretending to be Christians, but were in fact like pagan Luciferians or whatever, like straight up Satan worshipers, right? It got so bad, you guys, that I couldn't even watch a half hour of TV without like thinking about something else or crying or getting upset. I've had to like reprogram myself. I've been watching movies and TV. I'm finally back to where I can watch a full movie and stuff. Like I'm back to like watching a movie while I wind down for sleep. But there was a couple months there where I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything because my brain was just constantly fixed on this stuff. And then I found out that it was my parents that were, because I was so close. I knew I was so close to figuring something out. I knew I was so close. And yeah, it's my folks. It was my folks all along. And yeah. So now I'm on the Department of Homeland Security watch list for no reason at all. I know that I am. And there's a lot of other people that probably are too, you know? And that's like one of the reasons I'm doing this show, is because, yo, man, what I'm experiencing and what I've experienced, everybody is about to experience, or everybody is experiencing it. They just don't realize it, you know? Anyways, I'm going to peace out, you guys. Thanks for watching my YouTube show.